In every assembly of humanity, a silent hierarchy forms. It has nothing to do with titles, wealth, or the clothes one wears. It is an intangible order, defined by a single, critical distinction: there are those who blend into the noise, and those who command the silence around them. The chasm between these two is not dug by fortune or fate, but by discipline. It is the discipline of control. Control over the inner tempest of emotion. Control over the reflexive impulses of expression. Control over the carefully curated persona the world is permitted to see. Machiavelli, the unflinching cartographer of power, pierced this truth centuries ago: everyone sees what you appear to be, few know what you really are. He understood that survival, in courts, in boardrooms, in society, depends not on the chaos of your inner world, but on the calculated serenity of your projection. For the moment you reveal your core, the crowd ceases to respect you, it begins to study you. And when the wrong people decipher the code of your weaknesses, your tender emotions, or your hidden desires, they do not admire your authenticity, they file it away as a future weapon. True power, then, is not found in loud domination. It is cultivated in quiet concealment. This is why the most dangerous individuals are never the loudest in the room, they are the calm, the composed, the unreadable. Their power is a closed book, and the mystery of its contents is what holds everyone else in thrall. This is the art of public restraint, the Machiavellian discipline of mastering perception. To practice it is to build a fortress around your influence. Let us explore the 10 things you must never do in public if you wish to preserve your power, your mystery, and your unassailable respect. 1. Never complain publicly. Machiavelli warned that a ruler who displays vulnerability excites contempt, and invites conspiracies. Similarly, a person who complains publicly is not asking for solutions, they are advertising their powerlessness and inviting pity. And pity is the poison that erodes respect. Complaint is a public confession that you are at the mercy of your circumstances. Your adversaries will see an opening, your competitors will scent weakness, and your allies will quietly question your fortitude. The strategic alternative: embrace strategic silence. When you remain composed amidst universal distress, people are forced to assume you possess resources, strategies, or a resilience they cannot see. Your silence becomes your armor, your calm becomes your intimidation. Process your grievances in the private chambers of your own mind or with a trusted few. A true practitioner of power never lets the world see him bleed. 2. Never argue loudly. Public displays of emotion are the funeral pyres of authority. When you raise your voice, you sacrifice control on the altar of passion. A man shouting is a man who has lost the frame, a man speaking softly is a man who owns it. People register tone long before they process truth. You may be factually correct, but if you argue with heat instead of ice, you appear reactive, and reactivity is a signal of weakness. Master manipulators will deliberately provoke you, hoping you will explode and, in doing so, surrender your credibility. The strategic alternative: master the art of the dismissive pause. When baited, simply look, pause, and say nothing. Let your silence become a void that swallows their noise. The loud man is a firework, bright and brief. The calm man is the night sky, enduring and profound. 3. Never reveal your deepest emotions. Modern culture evangelizes vulnerability as a virtue. In the game of power, it is often strategic suicide. As Machiavelli noted, men judge more by their eyes than by their hands, trusting appearance over reality. Your deepest emotions, heartbreak, profound insecurity, consuming sadness, are the sacred currency of your inner kingdom. To spend them freely in public is to leave the gates undefended. Once people see what moves you, they learn how to manipulate you. The strategic alternative: cultivate a neutral public facade. This is not coldness, it is protection. Let your emotions refine you in private, not define you in public. In a world drunk on oversharing, the person who guards their feelings becomes an enigma. An enigma is the soul of magnetic authority. 4. Never over-explain yourself. Justification is the language of the subordinate. Every time you over-explain a decision or defend an action, you subtly imply guilt and seek validation. You surrender the high ground of autonomous action. Machiavelli understood that power is maintained by allowing others to wonder, not by satisfying their every curiosity. Explanation rarely alters perception, but mystery actively reshapes it. The strategic alternative: become comfortable with being misunderstood. Let people talk. Let rumors circulate. Those who are aligned with you do not need your explanation, and those who are opposed will never believe it. Speak with actions, not apologies. The less you explain, the more they are forced to imagine, and a well-managed imagination will often build a legend more potent than any reality. 5. Never display envy. Envy is a public declaration of inferiority. When you express jealousy over another's success, you broadcast that you are watching their game instead of playing your own. It reveals a lack of focus and a poverty of strategy. The strong do not envy, they analyze. They see a rival's victory not as a slight, but as a case study. The strategic alternative: transform jealousy into intelligence. Ask, what can I learn from their path? Channel that energy inward, into your own mission. When you radiate a self-contained ambition, others can feel it. Your lack of reaction to others' fortunes makes you appear untouchable and entirely focused on your own trajectory. 6. Never try too hard to impress. In The Prince, Machiavelli obsesses over the appearance of virtue and power. However, he also knew that the stench of desperation instantly nullifies it. Name-dropping, flashy displays of wealth, and loud bragging are the tactics of those who crave external validation, not internal victory. True power is quiet and self-validating. It doesn't announce itself, it reveals itself only when necessary. The strategic alternative: be understated. Let your silence make others talk. Let your absence be felt. The person who stands calmly in a room, utterly free from the need for approval, is the one who commands unspoken admiration. Chase excellence, not attention, and the latter will pursue you. 7. Never gossip or criticize openly. Gossip is a boomerang of poor character. When you speak ill of others, you do not define them, you define yourself as petty, untrustworthy, and emotionally undisciplined. Public criticism creates unnecessary enemies and reveals your own bitterness. Power is about choosing battles with precision, not engaging in every skirmish of words. The strategic alternative: let the foolish fill the air with impulsive judgments. Your role is to observe and listen. When you must criticize, do so privately, constructively, and strategically. Your restraint in speech builds a reputation for integrity and discretion, making people trust you with their secrets, not fear you with their own. 8. Never prematurely reveal your plans. Plans are like newborns, they are vulnerable and must be protected until they are strong enough to survive in the world. Announcing your ambitions too early invites doubt, attracts envy, and provides your competitors with a blueprint for your sabotage or imitation. Machiavelli was clear: premature disclosure is the death of great stratagems. The strategic alternative: move in silence. Let your actions and your results speak for you. Become a closed game. Let people wonder what you are building. The less they know, the less they can interfere. Secrecy is not paranoia, it is the essential protection of a strategic mind. 9. Never lose control of your body language, the unspoken arsenal. Your words can be crafted, edited, and delivered with precision. Your body, however, speaks a more primal, instantaneous language. It is the truth that leaks out when your mind is guarding the lies. Before you utter a single word, your posture, your gaze, and the microtensions in your face have already written a prologue to your intentions. Machiavelli operated in a world where a misplaced glance could be interpreted as conspiracy and a nervous twitch as a sign of guilt. He understood that in a theater of power, your physical presence is not just part of the performance, it is the performance. Perception is the reality you inhabit, and your body is the primary sculptor of that perception. The high cost of a leaking vessel. When you fidget, you broadcast internal chaos. When you slump, you signal defeat and submission. When you avoid eye contact, you confess to deceit or insecurity. These are not minor missteps, they are critical intelligence failures. You are giving your opponents a real-time feed into your reserves of confidence, your level of anxiety, and the stability of your position. A person who cannot control their own limbs can hardly be trusted to control a situation, a business, or a nation. The anatomy of composed power. The stillness of the hands. In moments of tension, your hands become the most treacherous informants. Clasp them lightly in front of you, let them rest at your sides, or use them with deliberate, purposeful gestures. Stillness does not mean paralysis, it means economy of movement. Each motion should have intent, not impulse. The fortress of posture, your spine is the pillar of your personal authority. A straight, relaxed back and squared shoulders do not just communicate confidence to others, they biohack it into your own nervous system. This posture claims space without aggression and demonstrates an open yet impenetrable calm. The gaze that governs. The eyes are not just windows to the soul, they are instruments of measurement and control. An unbroken, calm gaze, not a stare, but a steady observation, communicates fearlessness. It says, I am seeing you, I am assessing you, and I am not alarmed. Practice listening without looking away, taking in information without reflexively breaking contact under pressure. The tempo of breath. Anxiety is contagious, and it spreads through shallow, rapid breathing. Conversely, deep, slow diaphragmatic breaths are the internal metronome of composure. By consciously controlling your breath, you directly regulate your heart rate and project an aura of unshakable calm. Your slow breath in a crisis becomes a silent, powerful statement, I am not like you. I am not panicking. The strategic alternative, embodying the mask. This mastery is not about suppressing humanity, it is about choosing your presentation. It is the discipline of the actor who feels stage fright but embodies the character of a king. In public, you are always on stage. Practice this embodiment until it becomes instinct. Before entering a high-stakes environment, take a moment in private to assume the posture. Stand tall, take 3 deep breaths, and settle your features into neutral calm. You are not erasing emotion, you are armoring it. Your body is delivering a continuous, powerful monologue. Ensure its message is one of unassailable control, making you a closed book in a world of open, trembling pages. 10. Never reveal who you truly despise, the strategic veil. This is the apex of Machiavellian restraint, the art of concealing animosity not out of fear, but out of profound strategic calculation. To publicly declare an enemy is to fight them on their terms, in the open, where they are prepared. It is a declaration of war that forfeits the element of surprise, your greatest ally. Machiavelli's admonition, never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception, is not a call to cowardice, but to supreme efficiency. Why spend your capital on a public feud when you can achieve your ends through misdirection and intelligence? Hatred is an emotional luxury that the powerful cannot afford. It clouds judgment, narrows options, and reveals your hand. The power of cordial indifference. Cordial indifference is a tactical weapon of immense power. It is the practice of treating the person you despise with the same polite, detached courtesy you would offer a passing stranger. It creates strategic ambiguity, your enemy is left guessing. Are you unaware of their actions? Have you forgiven them? Do you consider them so insignificant that they are not worth your anger? This ambiguity forces them to waste energy deciphering you, while you are free to act. It denies them leverage. The primary goal of a provocateur is to get a reaction. By refusing to provide one, you render their efforts useless. They cannot use your public outburst against you, and they are deprived of the satisfaction of knowing they've affected you. It provides unobstructed intelligence. When someone believes you are neutral or even friendly, they let their guard down. They speak more freely, reveal their plans, and expose their weaknesses. Your smile becomes a cloak, allowing you to observe and gather critical information from point-blank range. The lethal pause between insult and action. The ancient adage, "Never strike a king unless you are sure you can kill him," is a lesson in catastrophic finality. An emotional, public strike is rarely fatal, it is a wound that invites a vengeful counterstrike. The true strategist understands that the only move that matters is the last one. Your public calm is not inaction, it is the quiet gathering of forces. While you smile and are polite, you are simultaneously analyzing their networks, identifying their dependencies, and waiting for the moment of maximum vulnerability. When you finally move, it should be decisive, irreversible, and seemingly disconnected from any personal animosity, a cold, strategic necessity rather than a hot, emotional reaction. Your enemies should not know they are your enemies until the trap has already sprung, and by then, it is far too late for them to mount a defense. Final reflection, the architecture of personal sovereignty. Machiavelli's world, stripped of our modern pretenses, reveals a fundamental truth: the ultimate power is not the power to control others, but the power to control the self, and through that self-mastery, to dictate the perceptions of others. This is the true architecture of influence. It is built not with loud proclamations, but with the quiet, disciplined bricks of restraint. To navigate the modern world, which mistakes noise for substance and vulnerability for strength, requires a different kind of literacy. It is the literacy of selective revelation. Speak less than you think is necessary. Let your silence demand their attention, and your words, when they come, carry the weight of rarity. Reveal less than you truly feel. Protect your inner world as a sacred space. Your emotions are levers, do not hand the controls to every passerby. React slower than they expect you to. Break the stimulus-response cycle. Your delayed, measured response signals a mind that processes and calculates, not one that merely reflexes. In doing so, you architect an identity that is unreadable. And in an era where everyone is an open book, shouting their plots from the rooftops, the unreadable text becomes the most powerful object in the room. It is feared because it cannot be manipulated. It is respected because it does not seek validation. It is revered because it possesses the one quality the digital age has rendered obsolete: true mystery. The modern age rewards noise, but it secretly, instinctively, respects silence. It glorifies emotional exhibition, but it bows to unbreachable composure. It worships the culture of exposure, but it fears what it cannot decipher, categorize, and control. Be that person. Be the calm at the center of the chaos, the fixed point in a turning world. Be the mystery in the midst of the crowd, the question mark that no one can erase. Be the individual who sees everything, catalogues every weakness, understands every dynamic, yet reveals nothing of your own. For as Machiavelli concluded with chilling finality, the wise man does at once what the fool does finally. While others procrastinate in self-expression and emotional display, the wise have already moved. They have built their fortress of composure, sharpened their weapons of observation, and mastered the art of the unseen maneuver.